Okay. Okay. I will do the prayer to Manjushri. Chomden den jambe yang la changsa lo gange lo de jinye jenda nye dara namda razawa jinye dungun jinye zijirin jinye dungra lebam kanda si pe zara mare mendem dongan ji seven rozo gun lang buje da ze yang lang duje yang den zon juda je do nye ma nye lo le ji jado donze je mare me se dongan nyugo jinye jen zara denam dene da jen sa jo das Yunde Yase to go to Rajudan, Junior Gender, Lumis, Jambe Yanlandu, Zedin Juji Chara, Jadala, the Mambaras and Gadan. Lord Bobbe, no one's no so. Okay. Now the Vajrayana part of teaching we already given yesterday. We already taught to yesterday, so no need to repeat it again. Unless if anyone has question, then later I will give a time. You can ask me. Now today we will. I will teach some more about. Well, I will teach as a repeat. But Shine and Hadong last time, that what I taught here. Yeah? So what term you nowadays using for Shijin? Shijin.
Attentiveness.
Yes, attention, attentiveness.
Attention. Shijin is aware, no?
Yeah.
Awareness.
Sometimes they like Drenpa is mindfulness, Shishin is more like awareness.
Mm-hmm. Awareness. Anyway, for
Vigilant introspection.
Vigilance.
In the Bodhicayavatar's translation, they use vigilant introspection.
Vigilance.
Shishin
Ah.
Very, very carefully aware.
Shishin Sungwa.
I will say awareness. Awareness, because Shijin means you have to be aware. There's no way you have Shijin without aware, without awareness. So Shijin is awareness. Memory means then you have to remember what technique has to be implemented on a certain time. So there is a memory.
This is for Drenpa?
Tempa.
Okay.
Tempa. If you forgot the methods, that means no memory. So memory is required to remember. So memory. Anyway, famous wording is there, composed by Shanti Diwar. Yeah, through absolute samatha, Shine, you develop vipassana. Vipassana is insight. Through the absolute Shine, you develop vipassana, insight, and then implement on each of the afflictions and root out the afflictions by implementing the insight view, and then mind will be totally liberated from the trap of ignorance. So meaning is like that. I don't know how you have been translated in the books. Shine Raptu Dembel Hatong. Is it clear? What I explained is clear to you? Yeah? Have the from the base of absolute shine, samatha. Then you develop the vipassana, the insight. And that insight view, once is fully matured, then you implement on each of the afflictions. And then afflictions will be naturally root out. Yeah? Every affliction is not separate from mind. So every afflictions carry the the pure part of the mind. Therefore, when you implement the view on each of the afflictions, then its authentic, original nature will show up. Yeah? Then there's no longer afflictions can exist as afflictions. So, by seeing the nature of every afflictions, then the ignorant is no place to maintain. Yeah? Because you wake up. When you fully wake up, then you are not in sleeping. Yeah? So every afflictions, then when you recognize, when you realize or directly experience the authentic or original nature of afflictions, then it can no longer remain as the afflictions. Yeah? So once you could root out, when you could see the nature, that means you root out afflictions. So then your mind cannot be in the trap of the ignorant. Okay? So therefore, shine, the samatha, is very, very important. Shine means training. Vajrayana is 100% depends on shine. As I told you other day, when Vajrayana try to influence your mind to keep the ordinary vision, the normal experience. Through Vajrayana, normal experiences, we have our own physical form. We have world. We have world. In this world, you are one of the human as well as others. So these are the normal concept. Yeah. So Vajrayana practice is to influence it. I use words take over, but may not be accurate. But Vajrayana influence that thought by thinking something else like deity and mandala. But that depends. 100% depends on shine. Shine is the key or ground foundation of the meditation. So, when the Hindu, the saint were using Vajrayana practice before Buddha, they did not implement the compassion and shunyata, the emptiness view. They didn't emphasize on that. They just directly meditate to influence the mind. The tantric way, Vajrayana way, like yourself is visualized in deity's form, and the whole world is you visualize as a mandala, to change it forcefully, to change the vision from ordinary concept to that new concept. That are what the Hindus has been doing it. As I told you yesterday, much later, many hundred years after Buddha, then Saraha and Nagarjuna, they converted the Hindu Tantra as a Buddhist Tantra. Means then Shunyata view is implemented in it, compassion has been implemented in it. So it became Buddhist Tantra. But the structure is more or less same. The structure, how to develop yourself is in deity's form. And you visualize the whole world is as a mandala of the deity. Mandala means what do you call? Instead of mandala? Environment of the deity. Yeah? So you force your mind to think in that way, and constantly concentrate on it, then mind situation can be changed in that. So that was the basic structure of Vajrayana. But here, when Buddha was doing meditation, he discovered that inside meditation can be developed from the concentration meditation. That's how he was enlightened. Yeah? He did say that I'm enlightened, not my teacher's enlightened. My teacher means from whom he learned the Shine practice. You know, they only know how to concentrate. They were not his teachers were Hindu, but not the tantric teacher. They were not tantric teacher. They were the kind of, must be a wise human. And they do a lot of Shine. They achieved already great result from the Shine. Like Buddha's chief main teacher was Sariputra, and the other one is called Mangalputra. There's two chief disciples. They were the students of another meditator. That their teacher, meditator, told to I think Sariputra, he told to Sariputra, his two students, while his friend Mangalputra was in the market. Yeah, he went to buy something. In that time, their teacher was sleeping, and then teacher woke up, and then teacher was laughing by himself, right? Teacher was laughing by himself, and then Sariputra asked him, why you are laughing? And then teacher said, in Indonesia, the king jumped into the flame of his wife's funeral. Funeral, yeah? Funeral, yeah? Fire.
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 P-Y.
No, funeral, fire, cremation.
Yes.
In the cremation, king jumped into that. Yeah. Am I?
No, it's correct. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, king jumped into the fire. Yeah, so he understood. Teacher understood that. So teacher just said that. Yeah, in Indonesia, those times you have no aeroplane, and no, maybe ship is there. I don't know. Ship, yes, ship was there because later businessmen came from there, and then, then.
Atisha.
Yeah, Atisha also went there. That's much later, yeah. Atisha was 11th century, so Buddha's time. Okay, then it's before Buddha. While Buddha was in the forest and doing meditation, the Sariputra and Mangalputra were students of a very, very, very well-trained teacher. So every teaching is not necessarily from Buddha. Yeah, he said that. The Shine, yeah, he already achieved great Shine, teacher. And then teacher said, I only attend the some part of the result of mindfulness, but not fully. I understood. I did not achieve fully. He did say that, and he told to, yeah, okay. So when he said that, the king of Indonesia jumped in the flame of his wife's cremation, then he said that. So his Sariputra took a note about it. And sometime after, when Sariputra, while he was in the town, he met a man who has a curly hair. Many tropical you have that, like Kanak, and like in Papua New Guinea, those people who has a very, very, very bright yellow hair and also thick Yeah? You have that in tropical islands. Yeah, what do you call it? So he met one of that. Asked him, where you come from? He said, he came from Indonesia. He asked, what news? Well, no news. Our king jumped into the flame of his wife's cremation. That was big news in our country, in our island. Wow. So teacher understood it. Yeah? Then after some time, again teachers told to both of them, I will die soon, but you don't have to worry. The Prince Gautama will be enlightened, and then you two go there and receive his instruction, then you will be enlightened. So like that, the Samatha meditation lineage was already exist. Yeah. Before Buddha. So Buddha was the one who discovered the insight meditation, the vipassana. So according to Shantideva's quote here, it says, on the base of absolute shine, the samatha, you develop the vipassana, the insight meditation, and then use it on each of the afflictions and destroy, will be ignited. Yeah, eliminated. And so you will fail to be enlightened. So naturally. Okay. So shine, samatha is, yes, simply concentration. You concentrate. Yeah? And then smart methods was invented by the masters. For you can concentrate, training. First you have to train your mind. So our mind is like wild horse, yeah? So you have to train it. When you train the wild horse, just before it's well tamed, contained, the horse will jump so strongly a few times and then calm down. Does it? Yeah? Is it generally like that? Yeah? Well, I mean, America is cowboy, so they know. Was cowboy, they know very well about horse. Tibet horse are like ponies, so very peaceful. And so they say that, yeah? And then jump so strongly a few times and then calm down. The masters classified the process, the progress of the shine into 3 levels. First level is like horse. Before horse getting calm, and horse will jump few times so strongly. That time the rider has to be very careful, otherwise you will throw out. So at the end, then you will have experience in the mind. That mind is totally uncontrollable. Very, very uncontrollable. And I have seen quite a number of meditators who are really nearly mad for a few weeks, 1 week. Like, you know, the meditate, this, the one, Yeshe, what is it? He's a Tibetan Lama. He told me, he born in India, grown up in India, but Tibetan. He told me, you know, he can't control his mind, constantly thinking. Even he remember while he was crawling, you know, the baby. When he was baby, while he even remember how he was crawling. And then the musics. Sometimes by not notice, he's singing the musics that he sang. He knows. So very, very, very confusing, very difficult to control. You know, he nearly mad, he said. You know, if there was no teacher's guide, you know, horrible, difficult. He he was very dedicated. Therefore, he told me it took quite long for him, about 3 weeks. But generally, they say about 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, to him it took long time. Okay, so at the end, then he told me, one morning while he was doing meditation, he was already comfortable. And when he was doing meditation, that just it goes very smoothly, and mind is so peaceful and calm and very comfortable. He has no reason why, because yesterday it was not like that. Yeah, this morning is then already okay. So it's called waterfall experience. They given name like that in the book, waterfall experience, the river experience, and lake experience as a lake. Yeah, not moving lake. So 3 result classified. Waterfall experience is that. So when mind is really getting tame, so like when the flame is almost finishing, then big one come first, yeah, like that must be. So just before it's getting naturally calm, then it became more crazy one time, short time. And one has to be very, you need a willpower for that to control, continue. You will not do overly hard for that. You will not reverse from normal. You will keep the same speed of doing meditation. Same speed, try, okay? And then once you come to the calm, peaceful level, then you will experience the flow of mind is very gentle, very smooth, and very peaceful. And the danger at that time is you may craving on it. You may attach on it. So you have to be careful for that. Because it's very comfortable, very joyful. You will not realize how the day passed, and that time then you really enjoy it. So if you craving on it, attach on it, then it will turn again into the affliction. Then mind will be busy again. Yeah. Therefore, if affliction appears, craving appears, now here, while you are aware of it, you will recognize that you are craving on it. So, same methods bring back. Yeah? Okay. The experience of the peaceful running river. And then third one is experience of like lake, not moving, not a very clear lake, not moving by wind. Yeah? And that means you will experience your mind is very stable, very peaceful, absolutely peaceful, and like limitless depth of the peace of the mind, and very clear. And joy of the experience of peace is enormous. At that time, you have less risk of attaching it because you are already used how to control the attachment. But still, you have to be careful for that, not to attach on it. Yeah? That's the top level of the Shinei. Yeah? How you develop it? There are many methods of Shinei that concentrate on objects like flame, the like little candle, you concentrate your mind on it. And there are many methods, but most effective is concentrate on your own breath. Yeah. And that's almost of you know, yeah. Concentrate on your breath. Yeah, just being aware. Being aware of your mind, whether your mind is focusing on your breath or not. That's kind of watchman, yeah? The awareness is like watchman. You know, the fisher crank has an enormous concentration, yeah? But they don't achieve the shinei because they're watching for fish. So they know, psychologically they understood they have to be very strict, yeah, physically very strict, and neck bent down, and eye is look through the angle, and not like this, yeah, and you will get tired. So your eye should not move here and there. And if your mind is not clear, you may not catch the fish moving. Is that it? So you need absolute concentration for that. So Fisher Crank spontaneously understood how to sit and how to look at its own mind, yeah? And they are so nimble to catch fish because fully aware of their mind. Fish is not like caterpillar, so it's move very quickly. And moment is moving, then he has to catch it, yeah? They have to catch it. Therefore, concentration is required. But then intention is different. So not good result there. But number of times, the Buddhist masters, they say that they're sitting very properly. They know how to sit very properly, and they have enormous concentration. So here, the awareness is when your mind is moving away from the focus on which you focus, you have to catch it and bring back. So your thoughts, all your thought should be the fish. Yeah? And the moment your thought is moving, bring back. Bring back. So, yeah. The meditators are always healthy when they are doing meditation. Very rare they get health problem. Two good reasons. One good reason is they don't eat so much. They eat very little dinner. Some don't eat. Most time they don't eat dinner, and eat very. And when they eat, they don't full the stomach. Yeah, just third part of the stomach keep empty. It's very important for meditation. Second good reason why they don't sick so much as usual is breathing gently. You concentrate on your breath, and breathing gently is very, very, very good for all the organs inside. It keep balance, and then that effect, the blood circulation is in very normal, very gentle. It's effect for all, they say. Very, very, the body will get so much tranquility because you are breathing very gently, in one speed. When you concentrate on your breath, you will breathe naturally, very gently, out in always in one speed. So that helps so much for your body. it's quite true. Many of the meditators, they don't get, good meditators, they don't get sick easily. It's true. Good meditators. I don't mean every monk. Monks get sick a lot because they, no exercise. No exercise, yeah? And I told you, yeah, Dakpo. I'm sorry, I'm not criticizing, but one Buddhist monk, meditator it was in 1950 around. In around 1950, the one good meditator in Kailasha Mountain in Tibet, he sent a statement out. At those times, Tibetan Lamas don't know anything other part of the world. So, yeah, from his meditation, he understood. From meditation, the Shine will give a lot of power for eyesight. Then, very, 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 when you achieve very good level of Shine, the eyesight can extend. Sometimes you see very, very far away. And also, listening, extend. And why? Because I gave that teaching in Dakpo, so there were Lama Dawa and Lama Tsuni, they are all familiar about this story. So this monk, he sent a letter out. He sent the message to the Buddhist monks in Tibet. So he understood, in a faraway other part of the world, in the Sonoy, there are many, many birds. These birds are standing and walking, and they have a falling bottom like wearing rope. And then when they go in the procession like that, yeah, one after other. And he saw that. And I think that is a penguin, yeah? Penguin. So then what kind of karma they have here? Then he understood. Tibetan Lamas. So the many of the Lamas who enjoy with the offering of people and doing nothing. Yeah, so he understood it. Then I used those times, but this Lama, this meditator Lama, he sent that message. It was during the time of the already communist army in Tibet, that time. And he sent that message. So I also got this information from Lama Dawa, my attendant. He was that time there. Kailasha Mountain, there's a little Kamakayu Gamba. He was in charge of the Gamba. He also got that message. He told me. Those time I thought, millions of these birds must be there, so why Tibetan Lama? Maybe difference, I thought. But recently I saw a penguin, this documentary, film. Penguin is, only about few thousand, not many. In the world, penguin is about 10,000, 15,000, not more than that. It's a little group. So, Tibetan monks, many monks there. Many good lamas have, many, of course, opportunity. So people to be a monk and enjoy there. Of course, that is there. That was there. So quite true, yeah? So, okay. Why I said this? Yeah. So eyesight. So okay. Yeah, breathing, concentrate on breath is very, very good for health and good for mind. and very good for Shine, much faster concentrate on breath than others. So others here, many other methods was given in the Shine doctrine. I will teach some here. I think you will know about skull tent, visualization of skull tent, to reduce the desire, or the physical desire. For jealous and anger, you only do this after you become good on Shine, not before. For the jealous and anger, then you, for example, business competitors or a kind of your enemy who is most meaningful to you, make you upset a lot. Or like maybe beauty contest, Then some women may be jealous of the other prettier women, Whatever, competitors. So jealous and anger goes more or less together. So if you could control one, then it will control other also. You do the changing position meditation. The whom you angry most or jealous most, you concentrate that you are that person. Even you visualize his image, face and everything, that you have it, you are that. And then you put yourself is in front of you, and then you raise up jealous and anger on him. On you, means you are in the front. Your enemy is you now, You change the position. Then your jealous and anger will be subdued. Then later you will not angry yourself, and you will not angry at your enemy. When you really angry at yourself, then reverse, change back, and do something. They say that, Okay, then change back, and then you yourself, and enemy is there, so you angry at enemy, jealous at enemy, And then when you, now angry to your enemy, and then switch the position, alternate. Then the anger and jealous will be totally under control and will no longer bother you later, because this implementation will be more or less spontaneous. Just methods, you should know it, but you may not have to use it because you may not have that problems. But if you have, then that's the one. But only you do after you get good result of Shine. I mean, when you could concentrate easily, that is, generally considered as a good level of Shine. When Shine become more spontaneous, it's a good result. So if you be bothered by your emotions, then you use like that. Jealous and anger controlled by switching the position of you and your enemy. And the desire is controlling by the skeleton. That's recently some other people in France told me they're really helping. Really helping.
Where do you imagine the skeleton as yourself?
It's in part of awakening. You visualize yourself as skeleton, and then it grow, it became very big. Can you do? You in the between a piece of flesh here became wound and rotting, and then that spread whole your body, and then whole your body became decay, blue, red, blue, and then falling in part, and all your skin is falling in part, fall on the ground like carpet, and then your skeleton, bone structures also falling in part, and became bigger and bigger, and then it's reached to Moscow. One is to Australia, where America. Understand? Oh no, not in the ocean. Then it will floating. So coast to coast is good. From California, from New York to California. But the small piece of flesh between your toe should keep as a flesh. Rest all disintegrate, is it? Okay, falling apart. Disintegrate, yeah, falling apart. And then gradually recruit, pack back. Gradually pack back. And then your own position, yeah? Come back. Okay? And then piece of flesh left it as a flesh between toe is grow, this DNA. So these masters, they already found DNA, yeah? So it's grow. It's grow. And then come back to your normal form. So if you do that few times, then the desire, yeah, yourself, I need it, I need everything good, everything, I want good food, or whatever, or the desire, whatever, will be reduced. Okay. So, 1, 2 methods. The constant thoughts is the most disturbing. So that's anyway will be subdued by focus on breath. When, as you all know, that 5 minutes, and beginners, you do 5 minutes meditation, 5 minutes to focus on your breath, and then keep a short break, and then do again, accumulate many 5 minutes long, and then you can extend 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and then you can stay hours. You can count 5 minutes. If you count that, you can do as you want, which is more easy for you. But beginners usually counting. So breath out and in, you make 1. Out, in, 2. So exhale, inhale, 1. Exhale, inhale, 2. 21 times is exactly 5 minutes. So if you keep the watch, then you don't have to count it. Yeah, 21 times and 5 minutes is same. Okay? Counting, you have to think again, count 1, 2, 3. So not counting is lesser, but you can see the watch. When it comes to the 5 minutes, then keep, stop and short break, and again do it. Quality is very important. How long you do, but if it is from time to time you are thinking, and then you will develop bad habits. So then the meditation will not be successful. Short time with the quality. Yeah, concentrate on your breath. Be away your mind, as I said, be like crank and watch the thoughts. So when you could recognize that your mind is away from the focus, that means thoughts, so immediately bring back. If you're thinking something else, is no problem, but you have to catch it. That's the most important. Immediately you catch it. So awareness means then when you could catch it, that means you are in away. If you didn't recognize for a long time, that means you are not in a way. You are not doing meditation. Your mind is. The sub-destruction is very powerful. Yeah, sneaky. Mind can sneak you out. You don't notice it. You only will notice when your eye get tired. Then when you think over, your mind is already thinking many things. You don't notice it. So that makes your eye is very tired. When you are fully away, your eye will not get tired. Okay? So 5 minutes, only 5 minutes is very, very good with quality. And do again, then you will build up the good habit. Same time, then you will get used to it. Okay? All right. I will keep short break for refreshment.